Well, hello, I'm here at Monadnock State Park headquarters, and I'm about to begin the Wantastiquet-Monadnock Trail. There's a lot of different trails going up to Monadnock, and I've done a bunch of them already, but I have never done the Old Farm Trail, and I've heard good things about it, so I chose to do that for my approach. And then I will be on the Metacomet-Monadnock Trail for a little while before I get to camp. So I'm actually starting off on the Parker Trail. I've been wanting to do the WMT for a while now. I first heard about it about a year and a half ago, and just, hey, it's another long distance trail I can do. But I am actually really excited about this trail for a few reasons. One is it's probably one of the newest trails out there. I think it was only completed in 2018, although it uses several smaller trails that they connected together. Another reason I've been really wanting to do this trail is because I am going to be connecting the miles from Mount Monadnock to Troy, where I left off on the New England Trail and the Monadnock-Sunapee Greenway. So after I hike that portion of the trail from Monadnock to Troy, I will have hiked through New Hampshire all the way from the Mass border at Royalston Falls to Mount Sunapee. Which puts me well on the way to completing the whole state of New Hampshire eventually. And the third reason I've been wanting to hike this trail is because part of it actually goes on a bike path, and it goes through Keene. So in Keene, there's North Keene area, there is a couple breweries that are right off the trail, so it's going to be a little bit of a hike, bike, and brews through hike. Not to mention, at the end of this hike, there is another brewery in Brattleboro, Vermont, the Whetstone Beer Company, which I'll be able to partake in once I finish. I mentioned part of this trail goes on a bike path. It's about, I want to say 12.6 miles of it is on the bike path. It goes from Troy to Keene, and you can hike it, but you could also bike it. So that's what I'm doing, and a lot of people are going to complain because, oh, you didn't hike it. But hike your own hike, bike your own bike. So that's just what I decided to do to make it more fun, because I've heard otherwise the walking the trail during that section is very flat and boring, some have said. So we're gonna spice it up a little bit and we're gonna bike it. That's also how I'm hoping that I'll be able to complete this 45-mile trail in 3 days. Today, I think, is going to be a little bit of a shorter day because I got a late start. It's about noon right now. You might notice, if you haven't watched my last week's video, I am using a new backpack. This is the Kumo 36, the 36 being how many liters it is. I usually backpack with my Mariposa 60, which is a 60-liter pack, so this is almost half that capacity. But I've been making it work. Don't know if I could do it for a longer stretch of trail, but for a 2-nighter, it seems to be working out. I wanted something smaller for, you know, like day hikes and travel, maybe an overnight. And yeah, it's working for this too, so I figured I'd test it out on a longer hike. Of course, you can't beat the colors. My plan for tonight is to stay at the Troy campsite, which is a pretty new campsite that someone has generously allowed to be on their private property. So that's very close to that Troy Railroad depot where I had left off my New England Trail through hike. So I'll be hiking all the way back to there today. I think it's roughly 7 miles from the summit of Monadnock to that area, but that's not taking into account this approach, which is going to add another couple miles to that. So I think today's mileage will probably be around 10. I think that's doable with the late start I got today. I'm getting the hardest part done right off the bat, so hopefully after I get up and over Mount Monadnock, the trail will be more smooth sailing. Oh, I think I've been calling it the Old Farm Trail. It's actually the Lost Farm Trail. My bad. But we are going to get to see a cliff walk, which sounds pretty cool. I've been hiking for about 1.5 miles. Trails, just kind of a lot of this rocky, kind of little ups and downs. Pretty quiet. Haven't seen anybody else on this trail. Nice little view on the way up. That mountain over there, the big one, I can't see my finger really right now, but that's Mount Wachusett. That's down in northern Mass. We have a junction here. We got cliff walk going this way and going this way. I think we want to go this way. This is a fun little rocky scramble. Pretty nice. There's Wachusett again. I gotta say, I don't love this trail. It's a little hard to follow. I just came up from there and then I went that way because it looked like it was like more of a clear path, but you're actually supposed to go up this other way, and yeah, not loving the backtracking. Probably would not do this trail again. Probably take something tried and true. What the heck? Am I just supposed to go straight up? Maybe I'm supposed to go straight up, because that marker's over there. I think I'm supposed to go up here. Could use some more markings. There it is right there. I think I'm going to go this way. Up there next. Getting there. I am about ready to take a break though. Just took a left onto White Cross, heading up toward the summit. That's where I just came up. I did not know it was closed for repair. Wasn't a sign on the other direction. Oops. Oh. That's the other trail we could have come up, but now they join. Trail. I hiked this down after coming to the MSG because this is the way it would take to get down to the old toll road, which I thought would be easier, but this White Arrow section proved to be pretty challenging after a full day of hiking. So while I'm still somewhat fresh, hopefully it won't be too bad this time around. But once I get down, the trail should get much easier for the rest of the trip. Right off the bat, we've got a steep, rocky climb getting down there. Oh my gosh. This is tough. But I just came down. I think it stays a little tricky for a little while longer. Okay, we just came down from there, and so we've gone about a mile, and we're gonna turn off this way because oh, here we go. Alright, we're back to following the white blazes. In my New England Trail videos, I was also following the Wantastiquet-Monadnock Trail, and I actually hiked that northbound to Troy, New Hampshire. So now I'm going to meet back up with the point I left off, but going southbound. So same trail, different section, different direction. Trail's been gradually flattening out. It's much more of a steady down incline now, mostly dirt. It's been easier to go a little bit faster. I did take a tumble back there My ankle gave out, and I did fall. I didn't get hurt though, but my ankles don't feel as strong as they did on the New England Trail, and I think that means I really need to get back into the habit of doing the exercises, get them strengthened back up, because I don't want to risk getting another injury. Got our first road crossing. I think I just go directly across. Yeah, I see a white blaze on the other side. I've been hiking 3 miles since the summit of Monadnock, about 6 miles for the day, and we are getting ready to go up Gap Mountain, which should be a much smaller mountain than Monadnock was. I am using a GPX track that I had downloaded for the WMT, and I think it might be pretty old. It said 2018 on it. I don't know if it's up to date, but I will post the link where I found it. So far it seems to be matching up. Seen quite a few stream crossings so far. That's a good sign that there's plenty of water, and these boardwalks seem fairly new. Nice little staircase leading up. Check this out. I'm on the way up to Gap Mountain, and I just turned around and saw where I came from. Really doesn't look that far away, but man, it feels like I've been hiking a long time. Almost to the summit. I didn't have any tortillas at home, so I'm eating my tuna with some crackers, and it's really good. Pretty quick and easy miles coming down off of Gap Mountain, especially after having refueled myself. Right there, and you need to get roughly there and a little past there, so probably a mile and a half left on the day. Pretty cool. Well, there's my bike over there. I'm gonna be picking that back up tomorrow, and then I'm going to be going that way on the rail trail. But in the meantime, we're gonna go find camp. So I think we take a right here. We are taking a left now onto High Street, and we're gonna have to keep a lookout for the trail to the campsite on the left. Okay, this was a little hard to find. So across the street you'll see a yellow house and then kind of a grown-in trail on the left, and inside this sign. So I'm gonna try and mark a waypoint on that GPX that I have and add it, but at least now you know what to look for if you're looking for the campsite. Okay, so there's 3 sites. This is one of the campsites. Got a nice wall and a bench. I could make this work. I want to check out what else is here though, because it's a little close to that house that somebody's working on some stuff. It's kind of noisy. Sadly, I think this is the water source. Okay, well, I did not find the other campsites, and I feel a little weird walking around in the dark with a headlamp when there's like houses all around me. So I think I'm gonna just set up here and just deal with the noise, and I'm sure they'll stop at some point. Today I hiked 10.4 miles, so that included the approach up to Monadnock, which was 3 miles, and then 7.4 miles to get to camp from the top of Mount Monadnock. Today was okay. There's some tough parts and then a lot of easy parts. This campsite's kind of interesting because you're like surrounded by houses and stuff. So it's a little bit noisy at first, but it seems to have quieted down now. Still kind of get the feeling like you're in someone's yard. It's 8:30 and I'm just gonna chill and watch videos and stuff. I do have service here, which I was surprised about because I don't have service at the Troy Railroad Depot. So, and that's really not that far from here. So I wasn't expecting to have service, but I have pretty good service. So good to know. All right. So good night.